If you have a urination problem like Tom Hanks, click subscribe, like the video, support physical media, and tell all your goddamn friends about us.
So out early 2022 from Warner Brothers in 4K Ultra HD is The Green Mile.
I have a lot of questions right off the bat, Matt. What is this mile and why is it green?
Well, Russ,
As someone who has never seen it.
it's a walk of shame. Now, it's the walk to the electric chair. And the pathway that leads to the electric chair is like a green, tile, walkway.
Oh.
So even though this movie has only been announced for early 2022, all the foreign markets already have it listed as February the 21st. So I'm assuming it's going to be close to that also in the US. They've got a regular and a steelbook listed. So probably the same kind of Shawshank Redemption vibe I'm getting with this one. You know,
A purple cover?
maybe green, maybe something lime, who knows. No word on the features, the transfers, but they had a digibook from Warner just like Shawshank Redemption did. They had, they kind of had the same exact thing, the same similar documentaries, all that kind of stuff. The Shawshank Redemption gained all of those things on their release. So this probably sounds like it's right up the same alley as that. You've never seen this movie before.
No.
It's obviously immediately compared to Shawshank Redemption, like every single time, because it's Stephen King movie, it's Frank Darabont, it's a prison movie. It's like, you know, that's immediately what you compare it to. I think that this movie feels more like Stephen King than Shawshank Redemption does. Like Shawshank Redemption, to me, if you didn't know that Stephen King wrote it, you would never think that he did.
Is there a more of a horror element?
There is like a supernatural, we would call it, like element to it. The Michael Clark Duncan character, he comes off as slow or mentally challenged or whatever. He's very simple, but he also has like all these like strange powers, like but he doesn't realize it, sort of. I think the way that the material is handled, it's more melodramatic for sure. It does have a different look for sure.
Melodramatic. I mean that.
I don't know.
I mean that in a good way. I feel like a lot of times people say melodramatic as in a negative. Shawshank Redemption is incredibly melodramatic, but it works.
It just doesn't feel like the same caliber of film, and it's not because of the acting. It's the material itself. It's the way that it's handled. It's like,
I think of it as a bucket of piss to drown rats in.
it's like Shawshank Redemption is just like more, it's more based in obviously reality in that there's no fantasy to it, whereas this does have that. So you're already on a different kind of playing field from the beginning. So it's hard to maybe compare the two. The main sort of complaint that I know is really, you know, levied against this thing is that it's about 3 hours and 10 minutes long.
One of the reasons why I've never watched.
Yeah, it's a very long movie, and it was initially like a serial that Stephen King put out. They tried to be extraordinarily faithful to that serial, which I think Stephen King even commented on, saying like, this is the most faithful anyone's ever been to my work. You got to fall into one of these camps where you're like, that's too slow and too long and it was boring, or, you know, you were maybe captivated enough to go along with it, which I was. I feel like it's 3 hours, but I'm never not entertained. The only thing that I don't like about it, which I don't know that this was even part of the Stephen King thing, I think this was a Darabont add-on, is that there's like this wraparound story. There's like an old man who is the old version of Tom Hanks in like an old age home. I don't like it, and I actually think if there's anything that you could say that slows the movie down, I feel like that part does. It's
Who's the character?
It's
the actor.
It's no one that you know.
Oh,
it's
no.
just some old dude who is like, you know, he's got like 20 minutes of the movie probably, his front part and his end part. There's at least 20 minutes of runtime where it's him in this old age home befriending a woman and telling her this story. And there's a beginning to it. And then in the end, when the movie finishes, they close out with that. I felt like it was kind of lame. Honestly, I don't even think the actor was that great. You had Hanks, you had Sam Rockwell is in this, and he's awesome in it too.
You want to suck my dick?
And Barry Pepper. The one thing that I did not know was that Tom Hanks was asked to be the Andy Dufresne character in Shawshank Redemption.
I know what you're going to say. You don't have to say it.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
He turned it down for Forrest Gump, and he promised, and he made the promise that he would be in whatever your next project is. Just call me up and I'm there. And that's actually how he ended up being in The Green Mile in the first place. And while he was shooting this, he was also getting ready for, I think, Castaway. So he was gaining weight for this role. So that's why he looks kind of like Tom Hanks always looks like someone's dad, but he's like heavy set, like middle-aged dude in this. This movie had a cool kind of twist at the end too. And again, I think, and Rockwell plays a part of that, and Sam Rockwell fucking like nails it also.
You won't kiss my ass?
I didn't know, or maybe I just forgot that Frank Darabont did The Majestic.
I did too.
Yeah, like right after this, he did that. And then it was nearly 10 years later from this film that he did The Mist. So like another just Stephen King just to wrap up, there's no official art or anything yet. I don't know if we're going to get the same awful steelbook junk that, Shawshank got. We're probably going to get something very similar. Hopefully it's not terrible. I'm interested in picking this up. I have this on DVD. I've never owned this on Blu-ray. I am a fan of this movie. If it does come with all those cool features that came on previous releases, I'd probably pick this up. I have not picked up Shawshank Redemption based on the art alone at this point, and I'm just not in the mood to watch it. If it was solid, I just would have bought it.
And I love that Warner Brothers digibook that I own of it. I do like the features on Shawshank Redemption, like the Charlie Rose interview and all that. So if the Green Mile comes with similar features, that is awesome.
In 1994, director Frank Darabont directed and adapted Stephen King's epic prison drama, The Shawshank Redemption. He spent the next 5 years searching for the right project to adapt and direct. Ironically, he found it in another prison drama written by Stephen King. Here is a clip.
Would this film have been bigger in terms of how people look at it, not financially, if Shawshank Redemption did not exist?
Probably. I think so, because
it just lives in its shadow,
it does,
basically.
Immediately. And I think it's kind of weird that Frank Darabont decided to do another prison Stephen King drama. I don't know what drew him to this almost right after Shawshank. It's like, why not try something else? Do Stephen King if you love him, but do The Mist next. Do this third, or something. I don't know. It's like, it was interesting that they did it back to back.
Oh, I know
it's handled really well. Don't get me wrong. It is handled really, really well.
Darabont, maybe if he's not the best, he's one of the best to ever adapt Stephen King.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's very meticulous and handles
I can't count Kubrick because The Shining is a Stanley Kubrick movie first, Stephen King adaptation second. But as far as Stephen King adaptations go,
it never comes across as cheesy or corny or like it belongs on TV. Darabont stuff is always like really good.
But honestly, that's what's great about Shawshank Redemption, in that I 100% can call it melodramatic, but it's effective in its melodrama, and that's the intention. And Darabont handles it. There's no irony. There's no pessimism. There's no nihilism. There's no it's endearing. He believes in it. It's storytelling, and I like that aspect.
Early 2022, maybe February 21st at the latest. So, The Green Mile, fans out there, let us know below.